We call this headset the black box, an immersive virtual pathway to your memories. I like to begin with something I call the safe room. When you push the crown of the watch, you will be in your subconscious. Are you ready?
If you wanted to start an 8-picture distribution deal with Amazon Prime Video, what do you think would be great to start with? According to Blumhouse Productions, responsible for such international hits as Paranormal Activity and Insidious, it was to create something that had a cerebral twist, half filmed in January, ready for October of the same year. Entrusted to the reins of this small budget venture is a team of creatives who take on a sci-fi horror story that has some great moments that you may want to consider for your movie marathon leading up to Halloween. This is your dive into the new Amazon Prime Video release, Black Box. Can I first say how proud I am of the streaming giants like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime who are taking ownership and agency of the racial landscape in casting for modern movie making. I don't mean Hollywood as a whole. Some networks and studios are still years, if not decades behind. It's 2020, guys. You're not taking a chance anymore. The world is not like it used to be in 1985. There's nothing shocking about seeing a black, Asian, or gay person on screen anymore, okay? The movie business is all about money. The main reasons why a white person was placed in a lead or all roles of a movie was, one, because of money, aka the belief in the draw of a white star's appeal over minorities to bring ticketgoers into the theaters. And most of the writers were white men, so they didn't write for minorities oftentimes if they wanted to get their scripts made. When it came to the tentpole movies, it was a prime directive of casting from the top. I mean, who was going to watch a movie where Brad Pitt was in a romantic comedy with a black woman, right? That's what many producers thought and still think. And it's a shame to this day, and a lot of significant people in the business from the ground floor to the penthouse still show no remorse, no regret, or resolve to make a change. It's about sensibilities and money. I have been on the other side of it myself, being denied because I looked too Asian or wasn't Asian enough. I don't know what the heck that's about. With the majority of movies working around a minimalist budget to fill regularly rotating and growing content on streaming platforms, writers need to be creative, so I feel like there is ingenuity in many ways for these releases now. I feel like it's a new age of film because the industry's old business models are failing. Blumhouse Productions is known for giving its creators free reign over many aspects of production, basically what all streaming giants love. Throw money at it as they walk through the doors, get content to push to your subscribers, lure in new ones. Casting-wise, the whole cast is 99% black. There's only one white female teacher. It's amazing. To not see less than 2 white people and think everything is okay. Yeah, that should be the new normal, not refreshing and new. We're getting there, folks, one step at a time. One day, it'll be a vestigial afterthought. That's not to say that this movie is perfect. It's definitely not. I'm going to give it a few points of merit where it's needed, though. The story is about a single father who loses his wife and memory in a car accident and decides to undergo an experimental treatment that feels and looks one part Inception, one part Johnny Mnemonic for 90s Keanu Reeves fans out there. If you haven't seen Johnny Mnemonic, just know it's a hot mess. It's not required viewing. Here are the film's merits. The concept is fun and there are many good twists along the way. The cast has a mix of newcomers and veterans, mostly commanding the screen with comfort and confidence, like Felicia Rashad of The Cosby Show, who just goes for it. My wife and I were both amazed by Amanda Christine, this little girl in the movie who stood proud and tall in every scene she was in. I could imagine her being one of the most dependable co-stars to act with, just giving everything she had in every take. The characters are written humanely with intelligence, empathy, and real desires. The screenplay was written by Wade Elaine Marcus, a fellow alum of the ABC Diversity Showcase that spotlights actors and writers to the industry, Emmanuel Osei-Kuffour and Stephen Herman. Emmanuel Osei-Kuffour directed the picture as well, more on that later. I was listening to everything these characters said, and I didn't have a problem with the lines. The writing team did a solid job with the concept and story. There are some elements, though, of the science in the science fiction. that I wish could have been ironed out, but what are you going to do at just under 2 hours? It's about the character's story anyway. If the story is good enough, I can suspend my disbelief on the particulars of the tech being used. Whenever I watch a movie, my heart desires for the film to teach me something about myself. Acting, filmmaking, producing, or whatever. This film did something I rarely see on streaming movies, which is a little dispiriting considering the team on deck here. I learned how to not direct. I don't mean that disparaging. Let me explain. When you watch a movie, you feel an emotional or spiritual distance between the characters. There is life coursing through this arterial, creative network. There is an inner life to the story. That, and this belief stems from my own personal experience, is the job of the director. You guide actors to translate the story with the right kind of heartbeat, to live the voice and behavior with which you are seeing it aligned within your framing, so it feels integrated and synergistic. If the camera work feels too conventional, if the same lenses and framing are being used often, it draws energy away from what each moment in the movie means in the grand design and overarching story. It dilutes the spice of your vision. If the staging isn't quite clear either, like if the actors seem to be told little about how to work with their surroundings, it feels like they're just standing or just sitting, stifled in their physicality, saying your lines like cues, despite serviceable editing trying to help them out, making it look more smooth. As a result, you feel disconnected as a watcher, a listener. You may blame the acting, the editing, or the story, but within the body of filmmaking, this cohesion, or lack thereof, are byproducts from your director. It wasn't ever pervasive throughout the film, but as a viewer, I felt this hollowness lingering in the film. This space between the actors more moments than I liked. I have great respect for Emmanuel. It's a great work for a first official feature, especially with Blumhouse Productions. That's awesome. Many people cannot tell something at least this cohesive in their 10th film. The main character, Nolan, suffers from memory loss and therefore feels displaced and disoriented with each waking moment. I'm not sure if it wasn't the choices by the actor Mamadou Ati, who has many notable credits under his belt, but the beginning for my wife and I felt detached as he, Mamadou Ati, seemed out of place in the film, especially up until the second scene with the experimental therapy. I can't place my finger on it, but something felt insular and a little closed off about his acting performance. It wasn't in the writing or editing. He looked well researched, probably made great choices on set, but I wish there could have been a little more attention to the perspective of the character with regards to the form of this displacement, or what parts of the present day felt out of place. In the end, I felt like I watched a guy, any guy, feeling lost for the first 40 minutes with no solution in sight. This could have been in the writing though. Without giving any twists, clues could have been placed smoothly, more frequently, or consistently, like breadcrumbs to help lead us up to the bigger reveals of this first act, giving more personal justification for Nolan to go into this experiment. It feels like a well thought out episode of Twilight Zone or Black Mirror with societal implications on how we treat not just those suffering from memory loss, but how we treat ourselves as we experience it too. If you saw Black Box or are in the midst of seeing it, please leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this review. Join my Discord in the link below to become a forum panelist and fan. Please consider becoming a Patreon member of the channel. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.